And the Bear on pole position. Richie lining up on the front row next to him. Why don't you take us through it, Unicorn?
Well, there we go. We've got 5 red lights. The drivers are revving. They're waiting to be unleashed. And there we go. The lights are out. And here we go. It's an interesting start from Freeway. Already pulling out as Richie looks up the inside of Ben the Bear. And, well, they're going side by side. Gadwin already retiring from the session. He's had a problem.
That's a safety car.
The start line. It's a safety car. Yeah, I don't know what happened. And there's a Renault, or is that the safety car? It looks like Zico might have had an issue as well. Yes, he has. He is pointing very much the wrong way in the gravel trap. Not quite sure what happened between those at the back of the grid.
He's been DSQ'd. So that's 2 drivers out of this race already, and things already looking a little bit more impactful than the first split. And, well, we're going to have a safety car here in these torrential conditions. 18 drivers remaining. The timing tower will update itself by lap 3.
Yeah, and if you needed any evidence that no 2 races are ever really the same, we've got exactly the same conditions as the previous race, and already something has been turned completely on its head. We didn't see any sort of a safety car
VSC got no front wing on that car.
First race. I'm imagining Gadwin didn't get off the line. Maybe some sort of issue, maybe a controller disconnected or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but maybe Fubar's run into the back of him.
Whatever it is, he had to hit something really hard because the damage is unreduced. If I'm not mistaken, the damage is unreduced for these races. So whatever he hit, he must have been going full tilt. Absolutely full tilt. I don't know what he hit. That's skill, man. I don't know what you hate to see it. Oh man, we hated to see it way earlier than I thought we were gonna hate to see it, Unicorn.
Oh, Jones is coming to the pit strip. I don't know if he was caught up in whatever happened at the start, but Jones is coming to the pit lane in the Red Bull. I don't know if he has damage either.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, well, he is getting a wing change. Yeah, he's getting a wing change. Razen's getting a wing change. Fubar's getting a wing change. Gadwin's car is being pulled out of turn 1. Kid Zico is in another land, blocking pit lanes. I don't know what to say.
Well, I think the timing tower is starting to fix itself. It's still, well, as I say that, it goes completely haywire once more.
We'll see that maybe 2-3 more times. We're on lap 3 apparently as well. My favorite's when we go into the qualifying and it tells us we're on lap 1 of 3 in the qualifying.
Yeah, or when 20th on the grid just overtakes all 19 cars at the start of the race.
Yeah, or when a guy goes from 200 to 300 kph inside of an apex. That was last race, not this race. Sorry, my mistake.
I think the timing tower has resumed the order, and we can see who is where now.
Well,
so that is now the correct order of races.
Yeah, Jones, Raz, and Fubar all needing to catch things up with this grid as they had to come in for wing changes. Ben the Bear right now on the rear of Richie. Richie will be thrilled about that. Ben the Bear, I imagine, not going to be happy. He's quite the, I'll say this. Ben the Bear is quite the unique safety car restarter. That's what we're going to go with there. That's quite the statement. He'll know what I mean. Big shout out to Mr. Darian Alfie. Hello, sir, and welcome in. I hope you're having a fantastic new year thus far. Happy 2021, and we greatly appreciate the support. Unfortunate to see your race go the way it did in the first split of our anniversary event, my friend. But we're very happy to have you here with us.
Yeah, the safety car, I imagine it will come in at the end of this lap. And the racing will resume. Richie over the front. Ben having a huge slide. He's caught it and remains in P2 without having to concede the position. But he almost lost that there coming into Aintree. That could have been a bit disastrous for him. And it also incredibly embarrassing for the McLaren driver.
Of course, if you're new to the stream and you're looking forward to a ton of wheel-to-wheel racing all the way from the end of January through into July, we are going to be taking to 22 straight weeks of racing action with 5 different grids here on the twitch.tv Misfits Racing League channel. So hit that follow button. My name is Stryfium. I'll be commentating a good chunk of those with none other than, well, yourself, Unicorn.
Yeah, I'm more than excited for Season 4 to get underway. Like I said at the start of the stream, it feels like a long time since Season 2. Season 3, not Season 2. I wasn't in Season 2. But Season 3, it already feels like an age away, so I can't wait for full league racing to hop back in to full swing. We'll go back to Australia again. I'm excited to go into the, beginning tracks, the Australia, Bahrain kind of tracks where the racers, they've now got to grips with the game. It was very new back then when we first went into them in the Season 3. Now everyone's got to grips with it, so I imagine the times will be quicker and everyone will be much more prepared. But the safety car is coming in. It's just entered the pit lane, and well, racing is about to get underway here for the birthday, the anniversary race event here at MRL.
Well, Richie now, when's he going to hammer down here? Ben holding with him as best he can, and I think this is where we're going to see Richie take off. Everybody's hammering down as best they can, trying to find as much grip as possible. Van Puten's found an absolute ton. He's already on the rear of Hyper as we come down through turn 1. He drops off a little bit, and this is not going to be what he wants, but he wanted to get that move done. Now he's coming around the outside. Now he's on the inside through 3 here. Does he have this move done? Hyper squeezing, holding him as best he can. He's in the very, very torrential off. Well, he's not on the racing line, so he's not going to have nearly as much grip. He loses that position to Van Puten, and we've already had an exchange here on the restart. Very daring from Van Puten to get that move done early. Meanwhile, up at the front of things right now, Ben the Bear on this restart has set purple sector 1. Somebody behind him, however, I think may have cleared it. We'll see what he's able to do with Richie here. Look at the traction coming out of left field. He's looking at the inside. Richie squeezes him off, keeping that door shut. This is going to compromise Ben for freeware here.
Yeah, freeware was pretty close on the rear of Ben out of the restart. Now there's a yellow flag down at the back of this grid, and well, everyone's still moving in the way that they should be. Houdini and Lavelle might have dropped a little bit, but yeah, freeware was very tight to Ben. BTFU was very tight to Tim, and well, both have clung on to the rear of their respective cars, and now BTFU might be having a look at the rear of Tim coming down, trying a straight. Freeware, well, he's not going to make the move. BTFU around the outside of Tim, maybe looking for the switchback out of Stowe. Not going to find it there, but really just piling on the pressure to the cars in front on the various battles, and that's exactly what you're going to do in these conditions. It's so easy to make a mistake, but if you've got pressure from behind, it's even easier. Freeway dropping back a little bit now.
You switch from the rear view of Tim to the front view of BTFU, and you can see it's a nice and clear view coming off the rear wing, but as soon as you jump into the cockpit of one of these cars, it's a complete change of scenery. And you can just see that these drivers, if they've got particles turned on like I do here on the commentary, I mean, they're not going to get a ton of visibility at all. And I have to say, it makes you nervous trying to find grip for sure as they come down Wellington now. Jason Van Puten in on this train we saw as well. Behind them, it's Thomas in the Williams, holding back Hyper and Maka. Cactus not too far behind. He's 2 seconds off. Razin doing some work right now. He's hunting down Cheery 2008 in the Ferrari as we come through Brooklands. What's Razin going to be able to do here? He's in the Haas right now, and you can see a little bit of a drift for Cheery there off the dry line. That dry line very tight here. There's a little bit of a tap coming onto the rear from the Haas. Let's see what he's able to do through the inside now. Wheel to wheel as we come through Woodcote. Down the straight as we make our way into Cops now. Razin, he's going to show patience here, but Cheery a little bit slower through. Razin catches up to him just on, well, he's just gliding through the turn here, Unicorn. Up ahead, BTFU with Tim, and who's this? It's a Red Bull. Jones coming through around the outside of Razin, and he gets the move done through Maggots. Coming through Beckett's now, and what a move from the Red Bull. I have to say, I didn't even see him coming.
Yeah, well, I've been on board with this battle for P5, and with Dasan, a huge slide from him as BTFU looks up the inside into the Vale chicane. Van Putten doing exactly the same on Dasan. Tim managing to hold on to P5 for the time being. Dasan holding on to P7. But we've got two cars side by side, or two groups of cars side by side. Tim has retained P5. BTFU slow out of the final corner, holds back Van Putten, who goes around the outside of Dasan through turn 1, and that's Van Buren up into P7 in the Renault. BTFU still in P6, struggling to find a way past him, really struggling for grip through that final sector on the corner exits where he looked like he had an opportunity to get past him. Well, Van Buren, he's got past Hassan, he's now looking to try and pry open a chance through BTFU as he tries to hunt down Tim. So a very, very tight battle here for P5, and all of these are very much point scoring positions and are all qualifying positions for that finale in just a few moments time. Two Ferraris exchange further down the grid. Fubar up the inside of Cherie.
Fubar doing a good job to try and recover here. Yeah, he's loving to see it now. He likes to see cars in his rear view as opposed to in front of him. BTFU right now with a really good carry of speed. BTFU, a driver that's known to enjoy wet condition racing. And look at the amount of traction he's finding through Chapel now. Tim has an issue here, and BTFU wants to make sure he gets that car as close to Tim as possible to keep that pressure applied. Meanwhile, though, Van Putten, well, he's watching BTFU drive the car he'd normally be driving. So I imagine he wants to get through on him. He started seeing his usual rear wing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not an out-of-body experience that any of these drivers are particularly going to enjoy looking at a rear view as BTFU snaps to the inside coming out of the final corner. No loss to Van Putten, but he has stopped a little bit from Tim, but I think it is just him just trying to find a way past. He's really struggling to make the overtake right now, and in these conditions, patience is key, and he is avoiding all contact, avoiding running wide. So, a very nice performance from these guys in this battle for P5. And we'll keep it very, very clean.
Oh, this is just a very, very... This is a chess match here, and everyone's waiting to see what the other does. I feel like Van Putten, BTFU. I wonder what BTFU is thinking here with Van Putten behind him. Dayson's catching up. Thomas is in on this now. This train is getting bigger. And I think Tim and BTFU are the ones holding it up. And the Bear, meanwhile, he is not able to do anything about Richie leading this race right now. Richie having a good drive here in this semi-final round, and then it'll be in the next round, potentially, should he finish this race in the top 10. You never know what can happen. It is raining. Final race will, in fact, be clear, giving the top 10 from each of these splits their best opportunity at claiming victory for the anniversary event.
Yeah, and that's bragging rights you want to take into the Season 4 here. If you've got that first win of 2021 under your belt, it just boosts your confidence, brings you into the new season with your mind in the right place.
This midfield is just, the midfield's just tightening up right now. Dayson's within half a second of Van Putten. Thomas is in there as well, and it's Hyper on the rear of him. Maka, 2.3 seconds behind out of the points, but it's a massive train, and that means a ton of these points positions inside of this top 10 could be exchanged by the end of the remaining 6 laps that we have left in this campaign.
Yeah, and it's been very enjoyable to see these guys tussle for these sort of mid-grid positions. And they're all in the points, but a mistake here could cost them that position in that final race. Like you said, Thomas, Hyper, Maka, they're all catching up slowly with this battle and train forming. So, a slide out of the rear, a tap that sends you spinning, could see you in a very dangerous elimination spot as Jones retires from the race. And
VSC.
that is a VSC.
Yeah, coming out of Woodcote. Big crash here. Not entirely sure what sparked it, but he's missing a wheel as it rolls away onto the off run. And that was a big crash.
Don't know if Razin was involved as well. It looked like he was going a little bit slowly. I don't know if that was to avoid the incident or because he was part of it, but I can't see the front wing right now of the Haas. He is sporting some damage. He's missing the end plate on the right-hand side of his front wing.
Very unfortunate for Resin there in the Haas as well to have that damage. We know how it can affect a driver. And if I'm not mistaken, that would be the second time he would have to come in to get repairs done. Yes, he was one of the drivers caught in that first lap incident, resulting in safety car.
Yeah, unlucky for him, but here we go. We're back to green flag racing, and that VSC has really tightened everything up in this midfield battle. Tim, BTFU. BTFU a little bit shaky. Entry, and there's a little tap from Van Putten into the rear, and BTFU's out of this race.
I'm sorry to say, but I think Van Putten's gonna get nailed for that. I don't know about that one. BTFU, he had a shaky exit coming through into Wellington. He took a penalty as a result of having to correct onto the curbing. Van Putten had a great run, just a slight tap into the rear of that Red Bull, and well, it's quite slippery in the in the off-road, as you can probably imagine when you're on some grass and it's pouring rain. So BTFU now out of the race, and no safety car as a result, as the VSC had just finished.
Yep, 2 laps, 2 Red Bulls retire, and he becomes the 5th driver to.
Well, it seems lap 9 is striking everybody with some bad luck, as Hyper has dropped massively down the order. He's now exiting in 11th position as Fubar comes through Beckett's.
Yeah, and that's put Maka and Cactus into those all-important top 10 positions. And Freeware picks up a penalty. That could cost him if he wants the win here in this semi-final race. But seeing where he is, he's sort of in a little world of his own right now. Van Putten still putting pressure on Tim, but I don't think Freeware's penalty, going back to that, will cost him too much time. But Renault of Van Putten really looking to find a way past him, and actually losing a bit of traction as a result. And well, we'll be very mindful of what happened in the previous lap. As not only these two, but Dasan as well, just behind them. We looking to find a way through.
Lap 10 coming through Cops. Van Putten's so tight to the rear of Tim right now.
Yeah, these guys have just been going at it all race, and they've done very, very well to keep it as clean as they have done. Ben up at the front is really dropping off of Richie's now. 1.5 seconds the gap. So for 3 drivers battling out for 5th place. And Thomas as well, just clinging on to the rear of this battle as well. Looking to scrape up any more positions he can find from mistakes out of these 3.
Ben the Bear with an absolute monster lap right now. 137.600, the fastest lap of this campaign. The next closest lap, if I'm not mistaken, is Richie, who's leading the race. He's about 4/10 off Ben's fastest run
a little
around
bit
here.
of contact. The Sun and Van Putten both still traveling into the right direction. I hate to interrupt, but at the Sun sliding a bit. I don't know if tire degradation is becoming a thing now for these drivers. And they've been battling a lot, but very nearly came close to another retirement from this train.
Yeah, I don't think there was any intent behind what happened with Van Putten, of course. I think that's just a very unfortunate circumstance in some dynamic conditions. as Van Putten known to be quite a courteous driver on grid from the time we've had watching him. He's a very, very hard racer, but a fair racer.
Yeah, well, look how close these guys are, and look at the conditions. Not only is it slippery on the track, and obviously BTFU, found that out, and then obviously the visibility as well. It was probably hard to see, the shakes coming out of that Red Bull. So Van Putten, like you said, a very, I think, well-respected driver here in the MRL community, but I imagine he'll be feeling a bit guilty after the race. Won't be thinking about it now as come on to the penultimate lap.
Hyper looking for a move on Cactus is into 10th position. Looking to get into the finale of this one. He's also got some penalties under his belt. 3 seconds for him. Cactus right now, all he needs to do is hold within 3 seconds.
Well, Van Putten, he's found the move to sort of put himself past Tim, but Tim putting up a very valiant defense. The Renault now very wide as they come into Aintree, and it is Van Putten ahead, and I think Desan might want to try and have a look at Tim as well. Van Putten's pretty slow down the Wellington straight after that exit, but he holds on to 5th. Tim holds on to 6th as well. Now, Desan looking. He's had a slightly better exit than Tim using ERS. Into Cops, this could be a little bit risky for the Alfa Romeo. It's easy to spin through here, but he's not going to find the move this time around. He's again using ERS into Maggots, and Beckett's again has to back out. You don't want to go side by side through here. We did see it once in the previous race, but in these conditions. And there is a big slide.
He just wants to get him there, Unicorn. He just wants him. He just wants him, but he can't push too hard, and you'll lose traction, and that's exactly what happened, and he lost a very good carry of momentum on the rear of this Haas. But the question is, will Tim be able to hold him off through the final lap of this race, as we have now begun lap 13 of 13 here in Silverstone. Things are being led by a Williams racer yet again, Richie, doing a very good job, and it's a McLaren in second. So the teams whose home Grand Prix it is, of course, having quite a good time. Cactus, he's doing work of his own right now. He gets back through on Hyper in the same chicane where Hyper did it to him last lap around. And now this is crucial for Cactus. He needs to hold this position as long as he can, and of course keep that gap. He needs to make sure he doesn't get any penalties, and he could land himself into the finale here. He's running in the top 10. No penalties. Hyper's got 3 seconds. Oh, and Hyper's tapped him a little bit. He slipped a bit. He's still sliding. Hyper coming to grips with the slick conditions.
Hyper already with that penalty, and now falling back as well. Looks like he will be eliminated come the end of this race, and won't make it to the finale. While Desan still putting Tim under a lot of pressure. It's the last lap, but he doesn't want to try anything too drastic to find a way through, because right now he will find himself in that final. But if he crashes himself out, trying to force a move on Tim, and there you go, you can see a little bit of slide. He's saved it once again.
There goes
though,
Richie taking the checkered flag here, and Ben the Bear on the final lap of the race says hello at the fastest lap, a 1:37.235. Freeware collects 3rd position. Neon is slated to collect 4th in just a second's time, as it's still a fight between Dason and Tim coming down into the chicane. Here we have it. Neon crosses the line. Van Putten now behind him with the penalty. Will Tim get him? No, he will not. And there goes Dason dropping back. Thomas is into 7th. Maka now crosses 9th. And Cactus coming through Club will be the 10th and final driver to advance into the final round. For the 1-year anniversary event. You love to see it. Well done to him. Fubar now, after Hyper takes the checkered flag, the Ferrari coming from back of this grid to 12th after an opening lap issue with no front wing. I'd say he loved to see it, although he didn't make it through to the end for the 3rd race. I'd say he'll be happy with that drive regardless. Lavelle now 13th position in the Mercedes, with Cheery in 14th position in the Ferrari. Will be last across, with Houdini in 15th position getting lapped.
Yeah, very, very different race to what we saw in that first race. And now we have our grid for the final of the anniversary race event. 10 drivers from the top 10 drivers from this race will go against the top 10 drivers of that first event that we had about half an hour ago now.
Let's take a look at the classification one last time before we jump into the next and the final round. Ace Ritchie started on second on the front row next to Ben the Bear. He takes first from the tie driver. Ben finishes second. Freeware started in third, finishes in third here. Neon had a consistent drive, fourth to fourth. Van Putten makes up a place. Tim, he drops a place into sixth. Thomas in seventh from ninth. Nice drive for him. Dason stops in eighth where he began. Maka, he went up a position from 10th to 9th. And Cactus from 13th to 10th, rounding out the top 10 in this one. We also had Hyper, Fubar, Lavelle, Shiri, Houdini, BTFU, Razin, Jones, the Kid Zico, and Gadwin in this one. Well, with all that being ironed out now, we know who our 20 drivers are going to be in this next endeavor, and I'm quite excited to see how the qualifying will go, let alone the race. The race will be clear conditions. I think we've had enough of the rain, don't you think, Mr. Unicorn?